Hi, welcome to BatterBoard. If you run a field service or contracting company, you already know the problem. Your sales quotes live in one place, your schedule lives in another, your crews text you photos, and your bookkeeping happens somewhere else entirely. Every handoff between those systems is a place where money leaks out. BatterBoard puts the whole life cycle in one system, from the first sales lead to the estimate and proposal to the project, the jobs, the crew schedule, the work done in the field, the hours on the timesheet, and the numbers in your reports. Over the next 10 minutes, I'll walk you through the entire flow, exactly the way your team would use it on a normal week. Let's start where your day starts, the dashboard. This is your command center. Across the top, the key numbers, active projects, hours logged, crew coverage, and urgent work. Click any card and you drill straight into the detail behind it. The operation snapshot is a live pulse of everything in flight, what's planned, in progress, blocked, or not yet scheduled, without bouncing between pages. And this is one of my favorite things in BatterBoard, schedule confidence. It grades how healthy your schedule actually is. When the score drops, one click shows you exactly which tasks are blocked, overdue, or unscheduled, and takes you straight to the problem. The needs attention queue works the same way. Field closeouts, urgent replies, risky jobs, the exceptions come to you, so nothing waits to be discovered. Everything in BatterBoard hangs off the customer record. Contact details, billing addresses, notes, and right beside them, the running communication history. Every completed follow-up, every text, every proposal this customer has touched. Before anyone on your team picks up the phone, they can see the last contact, the channel, and whether the customer is waiting on you. It's what makes the next bid feel like a relationship instead of a cold call. Here's where work begins, the sales pipeline. Every potential job is an opportunity. Which customer, what it's worth, what stage the conversation has reached, and who owns it. The summary cards read your whole pipeline at a glance. Active value, open bids, and weighted value, which multiplies each deal by its probability. That's a real forecast, not a wish list. From any opportunity, you build the estimate, scope lines, pricing, your costs, and terms. That's the internal math. Then one click turns the estimate into a polished, customer-facing proposal. And here's the part your customers will love. You share the proposal as a public link. They open it in any browser, no login, no account, review it, and accept or respond right there. When they do, it lands in your acceptance review queue. Nothing converts silently. If a customer accepts with conditions or asks for a different start date, your office sees it and approves it deliberately. Then comes the handoff. And this is where BatterBoard really separates itself. One approval converts the one opportunity into a live project, a starter job, kickoff tasks, schedule entries, even the customer follow-ups for after the sale. Your operations team starts from a running start, not a blank page. Welcome to the follow-ups page. Every promised customer touchpoint, the check-in call after a bid goes out, the thank you after a job closes, lives here, on a date, instead of in someone's memory. Follow-ups come from everywhere. Pipeline activity creates them automatically, handoffs schedule them, and your team can add their own. Each morning, the office works the queue top to bottom, complete it, reschedule it, or send the text right from the row. And the touch points you send to every customer, a 90-day quality check, a seasonal maintenance reminder, you build once as a campaign template, then generate across your whole customer list in a single click, each one personalized by name. Every completed follow-up writes itself into that customer's communication history. Your customers stop falling through the cracks, and it happens without anyone being reminded to care. Once work is won, it's organized the way contractors actually think. Customers hold projects, projects hold jobs, and jobs break down into tasks. The project workspace is the home for everything about the engagement, documents, crew assignments, materials, progress, and financial roll-ups. Jobs are the workable pieces, and each one gets a task board. Tasks move across the board from planned to in progress to done, and they understand dependencies, so if the pour can't happen before the forms are set, BatterBoard knows, and blocked work shows up on your dashboard automatically. Tasks are also the unit that lands on the schedule and travels out to the field, which is exactly where we're headed next. Scheduling in BatterBoard is two synchronized views of the same week. The job scheduler is job first. Here's the work, drag it onto days and crews. The crew scheduler flips it around. Here are my teams. Is anyone overloaded? Is anyone idle? Same schedule, two questions. Unscheduled work is always visible on the side, so nothing quietly sits in limbo. Drag it in, stretch it across days, move it when weather wrecks your week, and every change flows straight through to the dashboard's schedule confidence and to what your crews see in the field. Now the part your crews will actually use, because it was built for a phone, in work gloves, on a job site with 1 bar of signal. Field Mobile gives each crew lead their work queue, today's assigned tasks, in priority order, with everything they need to start. From the task, they log crew time, record the materials they used, attach photos, and message the office. 1 thread per job, so nothing gets lost in personal texts. When the work's done, they run the closeout. Photos, notes, and a signature. That closeout lands directly in the office's needs attention queue. No more, what happened out there today? By the time the truck's back, the answer is already in the system. Materials are usually where job costing falls apart, so BatterBoard tracks the full life cycle. You keep a catalog with your vendors and costs. You create a bill of materials for each of your products. You plan material lines onto projects and jobs, what you expect to use, and what it should cost. Each line moves through a real status life cycle: needed, ordered, delivered, used. Under the Estimator tab, product lines draw from their bill of materials to create a customer estimate. When complete, just save it and send to the customer of your choice. Crews request materials from the field and record what they actually used. And that's the payoff: planned versus actual on every job. So you see cost variance while the job is still running, not a month later when the invoices show up. Hours logged in the field flow into timesheets, where the office reviews, adjusts, and approves by week. Managing entries is simple. Filter by any number of criterion. Select all filtered items in bulk and/or individually edit those entries. When happy with the edits, simply submit. Submitted items can then be selected, approved, and logged. Payroll runs on approved, clean data, not on guesses scribbled from memory on Friday afternoon.
On a job site, communication is usually a mess. Scheduled changes go out as group texts from someone's personal phone. The office calls the crew lead, who calls back 2 hours later. Customer updates sit in one person's inbox, and when something goes wrong, nobody can find the message that explains it.
BatterBoard pulls all of that into one place and keeps a record. Start with crew messaging. Pick a whole crew or switch to individuals and choose exactly who needs to hear it. Type your message: a weather call, a start time change, a safety notice, and send. It goes out as a real text message to every phone through your company's own Twilio number. BatterBoard builds the list from your employees' mobile numbers and tells you how many messages went through. But messaging isn't just one page. It runs through the whole app. Every job has its own office thread. The crew lead in the field and the office talk right there on the job: questions, photos, updates. And because it lives inside BatterBoard, the conversation is attached to the work, not buried in a personal phone. Anyone who picks up that job sees the whole history. Your customers stay in the loop too. The follow-ups you send, the check-in after a bid, the thank you after a job, go out as real texts through that same Twilio number, and everyone writes itself into the customer's communication history. So the next time you talk to them, you can see exactly what was said and when, and replies come home. Answers from BatterBoard support and messages meant for you land in your inbox, inside your workspace, where your whole team can find them instead of one person's phone. That's the difference. Instead of scattered texts and missed calls, every message is tied to the crew, the job, or the customer it belongs to, sent from one system and remembered.
Everything your team does all week rolls up into reports: hours by project and job, timesheet status and aging, due versus actual comparisons, labor costs, materials, and executive financials. All with filters, sorting, detail print, summary print, one-click CSV exports, and saved views, so the report your bookkeeper wants every Monday is one click, not 10. And BatterBoard connects to QuickBooks Online in read-only mode so that invoice, payment, and receivables context appears right beside your operational data. BatterBoard never writes to your books. It just finally puts the money and the work on the same screen. Sounds great, but my data is in 15 spreadsheets. That's what the import center is for. Customers, employees, crews, projects, jobs, tasks, even time entries. Upload your Excel or CSV files, map the columns, fix anything it flags, and a new account can be fully populated in an afternoon. And you're never on your own. Every page has a guided tour, a searchable manual is built in, and the Getting Started checklist tracks your setup progress automatically. So that's BatterBoard, one system from the first lead to the final report. Your sales pipeline feeds your projects feed your schedule feeds your crews, and everything your crews do in the field flows back to your dashboard, your timesheets, and your books automatically because it all lives in one place. You can try everything you just saw, free for 14 days. No credit card required to look around. Go to batterboard.com and start your trial today. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the board.